Hey, this is Chaz with another episode of Law Have Mercy. On today's episode, I bring on Crystal Bonhomme. She is a client turned friend. We talk about her case and the process of working with our firm. It's really interesting. I hope you enjoy it. Crystal, did you ever think that you would be on the podcast this morning?
No.
Do you have you look so nice. Are you going to work?
Yes.
What time's work? Because I got to get you out of here.
10:50.
All right.
For you, I'll be late.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Crystal, you've been a salesman in the men's shoe department for how long?
Since 2017.
2017. Look, if you're listening, you need to go to Dillard's off Ambassador Caffrey and go and ask for Crystal. She hooked me up with the best shoes for trial. A couple weeks ago, a couple months ago. Yeah, I was looking fresh. How'd you know that? Huh?
I didn't know what.
How'd you know to pick those shoes?
Well, you showed me your outfit, so I knew that's what it had to be.
You got that style. You got that style. I'm bringing on Crystal. She's not only a friend. We've been a friend for several years, but she was my actual client. And so we thought it'd be a cool idea to bring a former client on and kind of talk about their experience with our firm. And so I'm going to start from the beginning. What made you choose us?
So back in 2015, I was in a car accident and the insurance was trying to lowball. Well, I was just so happened to be doing my hair and somebody recommended you to me, called you, and it was a very pleasant experience. So I knew when the bigger accident came in 2020, it was nobody else I was going to.
Yeah, really cool. And in 2020, unfortunately, you're on the interstate, you're driving, was it to work?
Going to work.
To work, and an 18-wheeler hit you.
Yep.
And it was a hit and run, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Yeah, and then 18-wheeler leaves the scene, you call the cops, you eventually track him down, and he's cited, and then what happens next?
So after that, I went to urgent care. And I thought I was okay. I got a couple treatments from urgent care. Then I contacted you. You hooked me up with the doctor, did an MRI, and found out I was worse than what urgent care seen.
Yeah.
Ended up having to have a 3-level neck fusion.
Wow.
It was tough.
Yeah. So at the scene, were you in immense amount of pain, or did that start happening after?
It was after. I think my adrenaline was rushing, so I couldn't feel anything. Like I said, I really thought I was okay.
Right.
I was sore a couple of days after, but at the time, I just thought, okay. I thought I was going to work afterwards, to be honest, but.
Yeah. And you were sore a couple of days after, did that pain start increasing over time?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that's common. Like I just cut a video where I talk about like people saying they're okay at the scene of the wreck, and they shouldn't say that. They should say, I'm getting myself checked out, because like you said, you just got hit on the interstate, a hit and run. Cops are talking to you. You're trying to figure out what's going on. You're late for work. You have kids you're worried about. You're not, like, in your mind, you're okay because you're not dead.
Right.
That doesn't mean you're okay.
Right.
You ended up having to have a cervical fusion, and that was caused by this wreck. And you tell the cops, I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Right? But you didn't really mean I'm okay, like everything's fine and dandy. You just meant I'm not dead.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So you go through that process and you hire us. How was that experience of like when you first came into our office and you looking at this case? Like what do you remember about that process?
It was the one like no other. I think the biggest takeaway was the way you found me the best doctors. Like, you made sure that I had all the treatment that I needed to make sure that I was okay, not just for that moment, but for moving forward. It was nothing that I couldn't come to you for if I felt like a doctor wasn't doing something right. I came to you. You even spoke with the doctor sometimes, and we made it better.
Yeah, I think people don't understand that type of service that lawyers provide, or good lawyers provide, is that, okay, you got a shoulder injury, a neck injury, a back injury. Who do you go see?
Right.
Like, do you go into, people don't look at, you Google it? Like, who do you go to? And if you can like get in to, okay, let's say you find one. How do you get an appointment with them under 3 months?
Right.
Right? You probably had an appointment within a matter of days or weeks.
I want to say it was within a week.
That's crazy.
Within a week.
And you were happy with the doctors?
Absolutely. I couldn't have asked for better.
Yeah. And then you didn't go straight to surgery. You did a couple things beforehand before they ultimately made that recommendation.
Yeah, we tried injections, we tried therapy, and none of that really worked. Like, surgery was really the only true option for me to have better movement.
And after you had surgery, did you feel better?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You're happy you got it done?
Yes.
Yeah. That's not an easy decision to make.
It's really not, because I think I was on the fence for probably about 2 or 3 months before we actually did the surgery.
Yeah.
But I am very glad that it got done.
I recommend all my clients, like, look, even when the doctor recommends the surgery, I say, look, I'm not a doctor, but I know that's a major procedure. Mm-hmm. I know that's a tough decision. You're gonna be out of work. You're gonna have to have some people take care of you. Pray about it.
Yes.
Sleep on it. Talk to your family. Get your affairs in order, and then make a decision if you want to proceed with surgery, because that's an extreme measure.
Definitely.
And for luckily for you, it worked out.
Yes, it definitely did.
You were feeling, I guess you got to the point, like if you can remember back, you were probably to the point where you were in so much pain, you were ready to proceed.
Yes, it had gotten to a point where I felt like it can't get no worse.
Right.
It can only get better with surgery. It was days to where I couldn't get out of bed because my neck hurted so bad.
Wow.
I had two teenage boys that I couldn't go to their games. I couldn't do nothing. I could barely cook because my neck was literally killing me. So we tried the injections. That was a temporary fix. So I knew surgery, like I said, it couldn't get worse.
Yeah.
And the Dr. Romero, amazing.
Right.
Couldn't ask for better.
Were you able to work at the time?
Nope. I was out of work for 18 months.
Yeah. And that was tough because you love your job.
Absolutely.
And you went, and luckily after 18 months, you were able to go back to your job.
Yes.
I remember talking to you and you were like, Chaz, this is killing me not to go to work. I said, Crystal, I have a feeling, all right, that when you go back, they're going to take you back with open arms.
And you are right. You are right.
I mean, it's hard to find good people. You know, it's hard to find good workers. And you had your regulars. You were, the top salesman?
Yes.
And then, did you get back to that level?
Absolutely.
Probably passed it up.
I don't want to toot my own horn.
Yeah. Well, I'm over here tooting my own horn the whole time. So, hey, look, welcome to the club. So you were able to get the care that you needed, and then we had to fight the actual case, right? Because an insurance company isn't saying, "Oh yeah, Miss Crystal, you're hurt. Let's just give you a big pot of money." Mm-mm. It was a dogfight.
It was quite the adventure.
How did we make that process easier or better for you? You know, when you're out there and then you just had major surgery, you're out of work, you got a lot of time on your hands. Mm-hmm. How do you stay calm when you're at home worrying about your financial future? You have a nice home at the time. The mortgage man doesn't care, right?
Absolutely.
The cable bill, the electricity bill, they don't care, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you stay calm in that moment? Because I'm building a little anxiety just thinking about it right now.
I mean, it was definitely a challenge. I mean, You could attest to that. It's several times I call you in a panic, like, Chaz, what's going on? Like, we got to get this done. But my faith, I think that's what kept me going. My faith, the support from y'all entire firm, you, Sasha, y'all was my counselors.
Yeah.
So, you know, my family kept me afloat. But that's it.
Yeah.
It was tough.
And then in that process, we have to get information from you to fill out discovery requests. And then we have to do a deposition. How was the deposition?
It was quite the experience.
A deposition, for everyone listening out there, is you're in a room with all the lawyers. Well, the defense lawyer and me, your plaintiff lawyer, and then there's a court reporter recording everything you say, and it's under oath. Mm-hmm. And really, a case the size of Crystal's, or anytime cases get in litigation, they're of any value, you have to take a deposition, because they want to see how you perform under oath, and they want to ask you questions under oath about your past, your present, your future, your current pain levels, who your first boyfriend was, who was your first kiss, who is right, and you performed extremely well, and that was a big part of it.
Yeah, I couldn't understand for the life of me, I got hit. I didn't hit someone, so why are you badgering me?
Yeah,
but
that's a good point. You can't help but feel like you're being victimized again. Unfortunately, as part of our civil process, they have a right to ask you those questions. And look, if I'm going to say anything, give any leeway to an insurance company, it's like, well, we're asking for a lot of money.
Right.
And so they have an opportunity to check the boxes on their side and ask some questions, because not everybody's like you, right?
Right.
Some people have some darks that have been in 20 wrecks, had already needed neck surgery before this wreck, whatever. They want to make sure that that's, all on the up. But did you feel prepared in that process?
I did. Especially, it wasn't just dropped on me on Monday. Hey, Crystal, Tuesday, you have a deposition. So I think knowing that it was coming, I was able to mentally prepare myself. I knew that it was a possibility that they was going to attack my character or whatever the case may be. I just knew I needed to stay calm no matter what.
Right.
And I think that's what got me through it. Me being calm, even though I felt like I was being attacked.
Right. And we've spent a good bit of time together before the deposition.
Yep.
And that's a big part of the deposition. It's like, okay, listen, it's going to feel like you're being attacked. The best thing you can do is stay cool the whole time, right? Because if they feel like they can make you angry or upset, they know that they can upset you when you're in a witness stand in front of a jury, and a jury won't like that.
Right.
Right. And so that's a big part of it. That's a good point. And then so we go through the process, and we continue to push and push and push, and eventually we get a settlement. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the phone call from me?
I do.
What was that like?
It was life-changing, to say the least. I was, people get excited that you're getting this big lump sum of money. But for me, it was like, I have my life back.
Yeah.
I'm free. I don't have to worry about these people watching me or, trying to do stuff to discredit my injuries or nothing like that. So for me, it was more so of, I finally got my life back.
Closure.
Yes.
Yeah.
This man that I can now call my friend did everything he said he would do. Even when I questioned and kind of side-eyed you sometimes.
That's natural.
I trusted the process, and I put my trust in what some would say, starting out, you were a stranger to me. I did that, and it all worked out. I have a friend for life. I have a lawyer for life.
Right.
And over any dollar amount, that's what means the most.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. I say it all the time. Thank you for saying that. But I say it all the time. It's all about relationships,
right.
And to me, like in the human experience, not a lot of people actually do what they say they're going to do,
right.
or maybe even exceed what they promised on the front end. I see that walking through life. And so I make it my absolute mission. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I'm probably even going to try to do it better than I said I was going to do it. And I think that a lot of our clients that have had that type of experience, it's like, it's memorable.
Right.
And they go out and they tell other people about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, Crystal, you are probably at the top of that list. I mean, not only are you here on this podcast, which thank you so much for your time, but you have referred so many people to me. And I know you've referred people to me that haven't called me.
Yeah.
And what's the thinking there? And look, I understand what you made an excellent point about, like, you're putting your trust in a stranger.
Right.
And to you, it's like, no. You need to call Chaz.
Yeah.
That's my boy. That's my friend. I've been through the process. I'm telling you.
Yeah, y'all
listen. But still, for them to like actually call and sit across the table from me, it's like, nah, Crystal just,
mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And some people it's not as easy to where I do have to kind of break down what we've been through for them to come to you. Other people are just like, okay, well, if you saying it, then I trust it. But for the most part, it's like, who else?
Right.
I trust you. I know your work ethic, not just you, but the people on the back end. So for me, it's easy. It's nobody else but Chaz.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Look, I'm biased, but I'm like, why would somebody hire another lawyer besides me?
Yeah.
I will literally die before I let somebody down. And it's not about a paycheck. It's not about what's in it for me. It's not.
Right.
This is my pride. This is my integrity. This is my name. This is my family's name. These are my kids that are watching. Right. This is my wife. This is my staff. This is my team. This is everything to me. I will not let you down. They will not beat me.
Right.
I will die before I let them beat me. And that might be a little bit too much for some people to take whenever you over a conversation at the barbershop, right?
But for me, you see a lot of these lawyers that's so uptight. When I could come into the office and I see my attorney just chilled and sneakers and still professional, like somebody I could actually relate to, that's a lot. You don't want to come in there and you're sitting across from somebody and they're talking in these terms and you don't know what's going on. You will literally break down everything to make someone understand. And that's what's important.
Yeah. We went to the same high school, right? And so I didn't have lawyers in my family. Right. I didn't have cousins who were lawyers. I met my first lawyer when I was in college. That's crazy, right? I knew I wanted to be a lawyer since I was 10, but I met my first lawyer in college. And so, like, when I first became a lawyer, I wore the suits and I tried to speak the language and I tried to be a certain way. And then I realized, like, this is all bullshit.
Right.
I'm going to just be myself. And obviously, I'm smart enough to be a lawyer. I got the thing on the wall.
Right.
So I don't need to prove anything to anybody. I'm just going to be myself. And the world responded.
Absolutely.
I'm fortunate to have met people like you and just confirming that I'm doing the right thing. Yes. Be me. And so we get the settlement. All right. Windfall. You're cleared. You have closure. You're financially secure. What happens after the settlement, and how did we work together after? Do you remember that? I know it's been some time.
So let me touch on that. And this is another reason why Chaz. Chaz is Chaz.
Man, I probably shouldn't have been doing this interview. Carter, can you start asking some questions? Because I'm really trying to toot my own horn over here.
So most people would have just handed you a check. Here you go. Not Chaz. Chaz set me up with financial advisors. Chaz even came with me to the bank with the check. And
I didn't like the way they were talking to you.
right.
I was like, no, Crystal. When you got a check that big, you don't stand in line and talk to a teller, okay? We need to talk to the manager.
And he did just that. He brought me to the bank with the manager. I was like, oh, okay. But the fact that he knew that, you know, this is a large sum of money, let me help her so that she doesn't blow this. And that says a lot, that he would take the time out to set me up with financial advisors to make sure that I did the right thing with this money.
Yeah.
So for me, once again, another pull on my heart, like, this is not just a lawyer. He doesn't just care about a check. Like, you're not a dollar sign to him. He genuinely cares and wants to help and see you do well.
Yeah, it's not, I want to know that those 2 years we spent together set you up for the rest of your life. And I'm not just, look, I can tell you, more money, more problems. All right. That
you preached that and you was right.
I mean, I say that every time when clients get money. It's like, hey, you think this is a great thing? It is. It can be, but it could also be your downfall because you've never had to deal with that before. Mm-hmm. And so I want to know that all the work we put in is going to go to something special, and I will not let you fail. Now, look, honestly, I have that conversation, Crystal, with every single client. Mm-hmm. And some people take my advice. Some people don't take my advice. And you know what? The people that don't take my advice, that's their business. That's their money.
Right.
I ethically, morally, professionally cannot get in the way of their wishes.
Right.
But I will give them the tools to succeed. And kudos to you for heeding that advice and having a plan. It's so important to have a plan because a lot of people don't have a plan because they've never seen that type of money before, right? And look, I got a big Rolodex. I don't think people call them Rolodex. I got a lot of contacts in my phone, all right? And realtor, banker, finance guy. I'll give you 3 of them. I'll give you 3 finance guys. You pick the guy you like. Mm-hmm. I'll give you 3 bankers. You pick the one you like. I'll give you 3 realtors. You pick the one you like. I don't care. I'm not getting anything from it. Right? It's you. Who do you click with? Mm-hmm. Right? And then any type of other lawyer that you would need, you can just text me and I'll send you a referral.
Yep.
Yeah. Luckily, like, that's what's one cool thing about the podcast. I've had so many lawyers on the podcast. I can literally send people an episode and be like, listen to this person and tell me if you like their vibe, if you like what they're saying, and then I can give you the contact information. Mm-hmm. And that worked out well, too.
I swear, like, after watching your podcast, sometimes I feel like I'm a lawyer.
So do you listen to it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
My lunch breaks. And now on my car, I could watch TV on my screen. So now I could actually watch it and not just listen to it.
Oh, so, cool. On the YouTube episodes?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you taking advantage of that.
Oh, yeah.
Chris, as I think about the success that you had, not only, you know, during the case, after the case, the result, and how you are thriving after the case, I think there's 3 big things that you did that really helped yourself. Number 1, you stayed off of social media. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's so important. You were probably pretty active on social media before, mm-hmm. but during the case, you knew that anything that you posted online would be used against you to make it look like you were living your best life and not having any type of pain or suffering or anything, because a picture could be very deceiving.
Absolutely.
Number 2 is you attended all of your doctor's appointments meticulously and did not miss appointments, did not reschedule, and attended, and you trusted your doctors to get the best care possible.
Yep.
And number 3, I think, which is super important, is you trusted in the process. You hired a lawyer because you needed expertise and you trusted the lawyer to bring the case all the way to the finish line, and you didn't do things to sabotage. You just had trust, and that worked out very well for you.
Yep. And if somebody tries to talk to me or call me up, call my lawyer.
Right.
Like,
You didn't talk to insurance adjusters.
nope.
You didn't talk to defense lawyers. You didn't talk to jailhouse lawyers that told you, man, what's taking so long in your case?
Right.
Right? Because they don't know.
Nope.
Like, my lawyer had my case done in 3 months. Well, Chaz has cases that are done in 3 months too.
Right.
Just not this case.
Right.
Right. And just give me an idea of kind of where you are in your life now. Like, where are you at now, and where do you see yourself in a few years?
Life is good. I must say the accident was tough. The whole process was tough. I went through a mild state of depression. But now I'm living my best life. Like, life's good. My kids are good. I couldn't ask for better.
You have a beautiful house.
Yes, love my home. So
How are the knives, by the way?
love them. My husband feels like that's a weapon because they're so sharp, but that's some of the best knives I've ever had. So
I sent some knives, some Cutco knives, a set, and I put a little quote on it. It was a Maya Angelou poem, and it talks about, it's basically like the phoenix rising from the ashes. Yeah. And that's exactly what you did. You know, you were at your worst point in your entire life, severely hurt, needing surgery, lost the job that you loved, looking at potentially losing your house because you can't pay.
Yep.
And then look at you now.
And not to mention, was actually going through a divorce at the time too.
Oh my God. Can we get anything else?
Yeah. So it was like, okay, God.
Yeah, enough.
But like you said, I trusted the process. I kept my faith. I trusted you, and we came out victorious.
Yes, we did.
Everything worked out. It all made sense in the end.
Yeah. Well, look, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for trusting me with your case. Thank you for all the referrals and being here, and just, this is so kind of you to say such nice words about me and the firm and everything else. But more importantly, thank you for being an awesome friend.
Oh, and again, it's not enough words that I could say to you on how much you actually mean to myself. My kids call you Uncle Chaz, by the way. So, you know, it's deeper than a case when it comes to you. And for that, I'll always hold you on a pedestal. Can't nobody say nothing about Chaz. So,
well, I appreciate you being here, Crystal. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, it would mean the world to me if you subscribe to the podcast and leave us a 5-star review. It helps keep the show free, and it helps us book better guests to provide more valuable content to you. None of the opinions expressed by my guests are that of my own, and nothing we talked about creates an attorney-client relationship or could be construed as legal advice. Hope you enjoy the show.
This podcast is powered by Acadiana Cast Network. Go to acadianacast.com for more South Louisiana sourced content.